But
Yeah.
let's go to avoidant dismissive, because one of the most common matchups that you will
That
see is
that came up.
anxious and
Mm,
avoidant, which is
yeah.
so wild because they handle conflict in two very different ways. About 30% of people are avoidant attachment folks. So on the other end of anxious, who they like really value relationship and closeness, avoidant love their independence, happy without close relationships, tend to suppress feelings. So what could possibly go wrong when you get these two crazy kids together? They high levels of independence, like we were saying. They're not comfortable with diving into feelings and emotions. They often feel stifled by that intimacy. They're like, not so much. They're not really there for that. They are content to care for themselves. Really, they also find a lot of value where they get where their personal value and feeling great about themselves is from their accomplishments. That's where their self-esteem is
Yeah.
really going to come from. They're uncomfortable with emotions from their partners. They'll often accuse you of being they're often accused of being distant or closed off or rigid or intolerant, and in return they'll sometimes be to someone who's anxious that they're dating them, they will call
Yeah.
them needy. I have to, when I read this, because most of my exes have been avoidant and I have been referred to as, needy. And
Oh, I
and
get that
so
so often as you want so much. And I'm like,
but but
do
then if
I?
let's unpack that. You have needs. I
Yeah.
don't even what is wrong with that? I got needs, and
Yeah.
what is wrong with having, needs?
Yeah.
And so it's and because what I have started doing in relationships, because I've been called needy, is that I just won't ask for my needs to be met at all.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, a thing that will move you further into anxious attachment, because
Yeah.
also if your needs aren't being met, you're not asking for them to be met, that is just going to create more anxiety in
Yeah.
hell for you. Most of my relationships have been
Yeah.
hell. So I'm not asking for my needs to be met. I don't want to be called needy. So then I'm just going to suffer.
Was ever